Hi yogis, welcome to the Yoga Pantry with me, Tash. Today we're going to do a 5-minute, that's right, 5-minute yoga tune-up for your chakras. So it's just going to be a nice beginner flow, a few movements to get you started in the morning and to clear those energy centers and rebalance them out. So our chakras are these epic energy centers in our body. We've got actually a lot of different energy centers. The 7 chakras are the main ones. So we're going to move from the base all the way up to the crown in our 5 minutes and get them nice and revving and open and clear and good to go. I'm going to start with the 5-minute routine so that you can start with that every day, and it only takes you 5 minutes, but stick around at the end to see how to do it. And once you've figured out how to do it, then it's a no-brainer. You don't even need me. You can just do it by yourself, and you can take as long or as slow as you like. But this one is 5 minutes. Even gonna time it. Come to standing Tadasana or Samastiti, and feet are hip width apart. Just ground here. Drop the towel to the floor, connect into your heels. Feel free to rock a little bit side to side or around or forward and back. Whatever takes your fancy, just connect into the soles of your feet, connecting into your root chakra, Mooladhara. Inhale, take those hands up. And exhale, hands in front of your heart center. Close your eyes and let's just breathe here. Let the shoulders drop down the back. Ribs again are soft. Tailbone to the floor. Just take a couple of deep breaths. On your next inhale, open your eyes, raise your hands up overhead. Reach up, stretch the heart to the sky. As you exhale, spread those feet wide, turn them out and extend the arms. Really stretch out. Knees facing the same direction as your ankles. Inhale, lift. Exhale, peel those toes up and let's draw the elbows down, and you can place the toes down. Inhale, lift again, peel the toes up. And exhale into our goddess pose. Drop that tail, inhale up. And exhale down, really drawing everything back, opening out. Inhale, reach up. And let's exhale, turn the feet in, reach for the floor, bend the knees, drop down, and come into Vajrasana. Now we're going to do that Kapalabhati, shining forehead breath. Only 27 of them. Here we go. Hopefully that's just given you a little boost through the core of your body. And from here, I'll just step this way so you can see me. Right foot steps forward, come into a lunge. Maybe take the hands down, rock through the ankles just for a moment to release any tightness. Drop down, inhale, peel the heart up. And exhale, open the wings of your heart, lift the chest to the sky, inhaling up. And exhale, open that out, inhaling up. Exhale, release, bring the knees back. Stretch those hands out, up to the tips of your fingers, forehead to the floor, hips to the sky. Rock it out here, breathe into it. Find your space. Just for a moment, you can come deeper if you want to. And then roll back up. We're going to step that left foot through. Find your lunge, stretch it out, rock it out. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, open the heart to the sky. Inhale, up. Exhale, open the heart to the sky again. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, release down. Come on to a wide-legged position. Fingertips in, breathing in. Tongue out. 2 more. Inhale up, widen everything in your face. Release that out. And now come into a child's pose. Come on down. Crown of the head to the ground and just, not crown, sorry, forehead. Just rock that forehead out. Stimulating that Hagya chakra. Now, As we go into the next pose to connect to our crown, you can either not do it because you can get that connection through your Savasana later. So if you don't want to do it, just move over to the side and stretch out your sides. Otherwise, bringing your hands to the side, roll to the forehead. You can stay here. The hands can give you support, or clasp those hands. Lift up and really reach up. Building strength into the spine here, and also connecting to our mama point at the top of the head, connecting into our chakra. Release the hands down, release the forehead, come into that child's pose. And release. Now you can come to a comfortable seat and just meditate there if you like. And just hang out here and allow yourself to become grounded, or you can finish in Savasana, coming onto your back. Release. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Another deep breath in. Out through the mouth. One more. Let it all out. And just be. Be with yourself. Be with your breath. Be with the sensations. Feeling them move through your spine from the roots to the crown, and that is your 5 minutes. When you're done, feel free to stretch out. Stretch those arms, those legs, lengthen. Oh, I thought I turned it off. I did not. Dismiss. There we go. And once you've stretched, you are done and you are ready to take on the day. So, thanks for joining me for that. We're going to go through all of those poses a little slower, and you can take them in your own time. But hopefully that 5-minute tune-up gave you the pep to get on with your day. Namaste. So our first chakra, our root chakra, Mooladhara. This is the one that is concerned with grounding and stability and security, family security. So we're going to come into Tadasana, mountain pose, also known as Samastiti, which is equanimity in space where you are right now. It's kind of a nice way to look at it. So you can stand with your feet hip width apart, or you can have toes touching, a little space between the heels. It's whichever feels good for you. Hip width is quite nice. And we're just going to connect first to the seat of our pose, which is the soles of our feet. And peel those toes up. Just connect to the balls of the feet, down into the heels. Release the toes now. And before we concern ourselves with the rest of the body, we'll just rock and get a sense of the soles of our feet, forward and back. Yeah, and side to side. And maybe around. Awesome. And then as you find your center, think about that tailbone just dropping to the floor, a lovely long line up through the spine following the natural curve, right up through the crown of your head. Loop those shoulders back and down so that they come down, but don't let the ribs pop out. Soften the ribs down. And we've got, even though the ribs are soft, we're lifting through our hip bones, and we've got this connection through the core of our body. It's almost like we're doing this. But to keep that happening, we stretch the waist away from the hips while maintaining this connection between our lower ribs and our two hip bones right there. It takes a while to get the feel of this, but once you do, you can use this every day in your posture. It's going to give you great posture, but also it's going to give you accidental abs, because what's happening is you're toning your core just by this simple postural correction. We're looking for a lovely line from our shoulders. I should just stay on the side, right? We're looking for a lovely line from our shoulders, down to our hip, down to our knees, down to our ankles. So if your hips kind of hang out here, you want to draw them back. You might end up feeling like you're standing like this. I promise you're not. If you've got an exaggerated curve in the lumbar, just lengthen the tailbone to the ground. Don't tuck. We don't want to tuck the pelvis. That's no good. Lengthen. Really, we're always working length in our asana poses. And from there, with those shoulder heads looped back and down, the rib cage softened down, get a sense of that energy through the heels all the way up. The chin wants to be gently brought in and level with the floor. And now you can really feel that line right from the root chakra, the base of the spine there, all the way up to the crown of the head. Close your eyes and just enjoy this pose. So our root chakra, Mooladhara, generally it's associated with a brilliant deep red. The element is earth. It's grounded, it's stable, it's solid, it's dependable. It's the energy center that we go to for connecting to our family, our responsibilities, and having that real sense of stability and security and safety. If you don't feel connected there, then you might not feel very safe and secure in your own space, in your own person. So this is our first one, Tadasana. A lot to it, right? And we're just standing. And then from there, we're just going to transition out by stretching our hands up. As you bring your hands up, and you can just stay here, but if you want a lovely stretch through the body, through the entire body, press through the feet, lift the heart, and lengthen it to the sky, reaching up and back. We're not thinking about collapsing into our spine. We're really thinking about stretching that belly. It's a lovely big stretch. Release from there. The next one we're coming into is our goddess pose. So we're moving now to our sexual energy, Savasana, which is our sacral chakra. Now, as we step into our goddess pose, we've got a nice wide stance. The feet turn out, and you want to make sure the knees and the feet face in the same direction. Now, generally what happens when we come into goddess is the booty sticks out and people are all forward and stuff. And if that's you, try it by a wall just to get the sense of dropping again that tailbone down. So this is where Tadasana, that's why we started with Tadasana, it's in everything. This is where your Tadasana comes in. We want that length through the center. We've still got the connection through our core. Your thighs are gonna feel it. And so drop that tailbone to the ground, length up through the crown of the head. Everything from the hips up is exactly the same as your Tadasana that you just did. Try and open the thighs back. Breathe, it's gonna work those inner thighs like crazy. I'll face the front again. So you can be a little bit shallow to start, and as you get stronger over the days, you can get a little lower into your goddess. So we're starting out first with our arms stretched out. It's a lovely lengthening, just sending that energy out and being open. And then we can stretch up, even lift the toes, peel the hands up, and then exhale, bend the elbows, draw them down. As you draw those elbows down, think about drawing the arms back and down and in. So we're going back, creating space for our shoulder blades to slide down the back and drawing the belly in. So again, we're not popping out and compromising our lumbar spine. We're always consciously dropping the tail to the floor and keeping the belly in. It's hard work hanging out here and explaining the goddess pose. You can call it the God pose as well. It's all good. It's just connecting to our personal power. Now, because this is such an open pose in this area, this is why it connects to our sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra, Savasana, is the next level. We move from that brilliant deep red color up into the orange color of the sacral chakra. And now the colors, don't get too hung up on them. Some people who see energies and colors don't necessarily see those colors. But it's sort of the most accepted color. So as we move up to that orange, we move into that area of sexuality. We move into the fluidity of creativity. This is where your creativity is born. Think about the womb, life, and all of that stuff that happens down here. And if it's blocked, you might have some sexual issues. You might have a creative block. You might people that are a little bit deceitful, sometimes they have a blockage here. Here's the elephant represents our root chakra, and the crocodile represents this area, our sacral chakra. So, you know, crocodile tears and all of that stuff. There's an open chakra, we get all the benefits of it. A closed down chakra, we get the opposite, basically. So this is why we're working with our chakras, getting them nice and open and energized, open into that goddess. Embrace the creativity of yourself, of your body, of your mind, and embrace that sexuality. And it's our masculine and feminine aspects. Its element is water, so it's fluid and it's just lovely. And that is our goddess pose. And we're actually just going to transition down just so that we get a nice flow through by turning our feet in. And then you can bend. If you're coming down, make sure you've drawn the belly button in so you're protecting your lower back. You can bend your knees to reach the floor and then just drop down to your knees. Now I'll face over here so you can see what's happening a little more as we move into a pranayama, which is, prana is life force energy. Ayama is the expansion of that. And pranayama is really harnessing that life force through breath. So the pranayama we're going to do is going to connect us to our solar plexus chakra. Some people call it the navel chakra, but there's actually another chakra there called the nabi. So it's one that's not talked about a lot. So the solar plexus is just slightly above the belly button and below the ribs, where the sacral one, of course it's around the sacrum area, and people think about them being connected to the spine, but if you think just above the pubic bone and below the belly button, it's a general area. So now we've come to the solar plexus, the seat of the ego, which isn't always a bad thing because that's what drives us to achieve in life, if it's in check. This is where we get those gut instincts from as well. This is our power center that's also connected to money and wealth and prosperity and fulfillment. So all of these three lower chakras deal with the world, energy of the world. This chakra relates to the element of fire, and its animal is the ram. So just finding that strength and that fire, that determination within you to move you and drive you forward. We're going to connect to it with a pranayama called Kapalabhati, which translates to shining forehead or shining skull, because if you do a lot of it, you get a sweaty forehead. But it also helps to build that strength in your core. Normally you would do well, traditionally you would do like 108 of these, maybe broken up into 4 rounds of 36. Today we're just going to do 27. That's all. Think about your exhale. Don't worry about your inhale. It's going to happen anyway, because once the breath's out, the body, the muscles go, I need to breathe, and they open the body and we get to feel the air. So think about a cough. Try and move the cough from the throat to the belly, a belly cough or a belly laugh. Ha, 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 ha. If you do that, ha, ha. Feel how the belly moves. Ha, 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 ha. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to exhale through the nose. The inhale just happens, so don't worry about the inhale. So think about exhalation, quite forceful. Don't do yourself any injuries or anything like that. Just gently exhale, 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 exhale. 27 of them. Let's give it a go. Deep breath in, excuse me. You can touch your belly if you want. And that you should feel this energy or maybe a little ache in your core. That connects us to that lovely Manipura chakra. We've charged it up. And if you want to do more of that, by all means, just make sure you're not hyperventilating. We really are using the belly muscles. We're not using the chest to do that. So that is connecting us to our solar plexus. Now we're going to move up to my favorite chakra, heart, anahata. the heart chakra. When you do moves in yoga that open up this area of your body, it helps to lift mild depression, it helps to ease anxiety, and it just lifts your mood. And it makes total sense because it's connected to this area of the heart chakra. If that's closed off, then we can feel anxious, we can feel depressed, we can feel really sad and down and disconnected from the world and unloved. When we connect to that, it opens us up, and suddenly we have compassion and empathy for all living things. It's also connected to healing, and the color is a beautiful emerald green. Lovely, beautiful green space. So let us look at the pose. Actually, we've got two poses for this one. We're going to do a lovely big lunge. Ooh, cut my head off over there. So we're going to do a lovely big lunge. Step, in this case, let's just step our left foot so that I stay open to the camera here. Best way to do it is from here. Step forward and just lean into it. Now you can lean down, you can have blocks with you. You can lift up the foot first and rock it out, just to, especially if you're doing this in the morning, you're feeling a little stiff and tight. Releasing out those ankles and drop the back knee. Now hopefully when you lunged, you stepped so that your knee was over or slightly behind your ankle or heel. If you have stepped a shallow step and your knee goes well past, this is fine for certain things, but not for what we're after today, because it's going to put a strain into your knee, and we do not want to do that. We want to protect that knee by making sure we've planted our flagpole, gadoosh, nice and solid, straight through the knee, down into the earth, straight flag. It can tilt back a little bit, that's totally fine, but we don't want it to tilt forward. Then think about drawing back through that left hip crease. Draw the hips back. As you do that, you draw that left hip back, the right hip comes forward, and you end up with your hips squared to the front, which is what we're after. If this is sore on your back knee, then go ahead and roll your mat double, or just place a cushion or a blanket under there. Now you can stay here, but we want to open up that chest. So if you can, bring your hands to the knee, and you can roll the shoulders back and lift and lengthen. So now what we're doing is we've got that sense of the belly drawing in, so that we're protecting our lumbar spine, and we're looking for length. So we're not collapsing down and trying to do a massive back bend here. We're opening and lifting. Lift your heart, lift your anahata, your heart chakra, to the ceiling, to the sky. If that's all intense for you, just keep the hands on your knee, or have some big fat books or blocks here beside you to give you some support. Bring the earth up to you instead. And if you're comfortable here, we're going to reach our hand up. Now that back foot, you just might notice, can be tucked for knee support, or it can be flat to press and open up into our hip flexors. Totally fine. Whichever feels good for you. Now if it feels okay, as you draw your shoulders down the back, lift the heart to the sky. Breathe into it. Shoulders down, chest opens. Inhale up, lengthen through the body, and exhale, open. Inhale up, and exhale, open. Try and breathe through the nose if you can. And that's what we're going to do for the first one. Then roll back, draw back over those heels. Bring your knees back in, and we're going to reach forward, drop the forehead to the ground, and reach our fingertips to this, press our fingertips into the floor. This is actually called Anahata Asana, heart-centered pose, or puppy pose. Now this is an easy version of it. Right here. We can go deeper by flattening the hands and dropping the chest to the ground. I'm not that warm, so my chest doesn't come all the way down right now. And if you're just playing with it and you're just new at it, you can always be a little bit higher here. Try and scoot that booty up so you get a nice curve in the lumbar here, and drop the chest down. If it doesn't reach the floor, it's okay. Support yourself with your hands. You can also put a block underneath the chest. So breathe into that. And then when you come out, roll it out. heart-centered pose. And then we're just going to lunge back into the other side and just do the same stuff that we did before with our big, old, lovely lunge. So that is Anahata, the stretches for our heart this morning. That brings us now, we're moving. So we've moved now from the lower energies of our base chakras to the higher chakras. The heart connects the physical world to the spiritual world. So now we move to our throat. This is Vishuddha or Vishuddhi, which represents the blue sky. And this is connected to, the heart, the element for the heart was air. Air and openness. Element for our throat is ether, space. Lots of space here. We're going to work with our throat with Simhasana, roaring lion. It's so great. Now, not only will it massage your face and your tongue, now when you stick your tongue out super long, it also connects you to your core. So double advantage there. This is the expression of the creativity that was born in our sacral chakra. This is where we allow that to come out now. Finding our voice, claiming who we are. So you see how all of that stuff from below comes up and expresses itself down here. We're going to do it with roaring lion. So if you can, widen out the knees, big toes come together, and you can sit down onto that. If that's not comfortable, by all means, place a cushion or a block or a bolster between the legs and sit onto that instead. But we want to have space so we can point our fingertips in towards us and you get a lovely stretch through the wrists, especially if you work on your computer a lot. This is lovely for that. Now, the further out or the closer in will change the intensity of the wrist. If that's no good for you, out to the side, it's all fine. And we're going to inhale. And as you exhale, you want to widen your face and stick your tongue out as much as you can. So big wide eyes, big long tongue, and let it go, like really roar it out. So here we go. And bring the chin to the chest. This is called Jalandhara Bandha. I think I said that right. It's a chin lock, which also connects us here to our Vishuddha chakra, our throat chakra. Let's go again. Inhale up. Just to where it's comfortable for your neck. Look up, look for length, shoulders away from your ears. So we're not like here, but lengthening. Again, we're looking for that length through our spine. Inhaling up. And let's go. Chin lock, tongue out, eyes wide. Get that face massage going. Make you nice and youthful and young. One more time. And release. And that, my friends, is how you work your throat chakra. There are lots of poses that do all the things, but that's what we're doing today. Now, if those feel a little sore because we're there for a while, just turn them up. Fingers in, palms up, and stretch them out. Getting up there, moving to third eye, Agna, sometimes called Agya. It's spelled A-J-N-A, I think. Agna chakra. This is your connection to your sixth sense. This is where you connect into those your intuition, your psychic abilities, your you connect more to spirit here. This is also space, akasha. This is ether as well, and this is represented by the color indigo. So think about that third eye area, and this one's super easy. We're just going to stimulate it by rubbing our forehead on the ground in child's pose. Easy peasy. It's a lovely rest and it's just a nice place to be. So coming into child's pose, we're going to bring our knees together. We're going to do a traditional child's pose, Balasana. And either you can sit straight down onto those heels, the heel points pointing up into your buttocks, into your sits bones, or for me, I find it more comfortable actually if I actually for some reason my feet want to roll out, so my heels tend to open, my big toes stay together, and I can sit just in between the feet there. But it depends on how you're built. You might be more comfortable like this. Now you might not be comfortable here at all. And we did this earlier in our pranayama. If you're not, just sit up onto a block or a cushion, or sit with your legs crossed. But for child's pose, we need to be like this, but we don't have to sit here the whole time. If you are not comfortable in a child's pose, this is what a child's pose is. We're just going to sit down and rest. Now this isn't necessarily for everyone. You might need to have a blanket between the knees there. You might need to have a blanket or something underneath the ankles just to give them some space. So giving like a little roll underneath the ankles or between the legs, or even when you come forward, you can be a little bit more higher off until the body gets more flexibility, and you can rest the forehead onto the fists or onto the hands or onto the forearms. But if you're comfortable coming all the way down to the ground, then forehead's on the ground, and we can rock that forehead, our little chakra center there, along the ground. Hands beside you, hands behind you, hands in front of you, hands stacked. Whatever works for you, your body, your yoga. Oh, we breathe there. So that's the basic of that one. And as we move to reach the crown chakra, it's going to be a little trickier. If this doesn't feel right for you, the crown chakra one, then I suggest instead of doing that, because you can still connect to your crown chakra in Savasana, instead of following into the next pose, you can always stretch out here for a couple of breaths, out to the side, and then breathe in, come up, stretch over to the other side for a couple of breaths. And you get this lovely stretch out, you connect, and as we come into our child's pose, it lets us withdraw internally and just connect to ourselves a little fuller. So you can do that. However, if you're ready to move to the crown chakra, Sahasrara, the 1,000-petaled lotus, this one is either represented by the color violet or white. And white, light, has the colors of all the other chakras within it. So I like that one, but sometimes violet is what resonates, and that is all good. Let's look at this one little by little. So I'll show you the full pose first. It's actually looks like this. This might not be comfortable depending on how the curve in your cervical spine, your neck spine, is. So we can move at it slowly. Down in our child's pose, we can bring our hands right next to us, and as you lift to the knees, you can drop the crown of the head to the floor, and you've got your hands there to support you. You don't have to put all the weight down. However, if you are comfortable here, you can reach behind, interlace those fingers, draw the hands up. That creates lightness, and we are compressing the top spine, which is good. That's going to build some bone density, but this is only good if it's comfortable for you and your neck is happy with this pose. What's also happening here is we're connecting to a little, what's called a mama point at the top of our head, which is going to stimulate our hormonal system and activate all the good things in our body. So it's a pretty cool pose. And if you don't like doing headstands, this is a great alternative. You get the same benefits of a headstand. You get a lot of circulation to the face and to the brain, and it's just lovely. And of course, it connects us to that chakra right there. Our chakra that opens us and connects us to the universal energies, Mahaprana. It integrates all the other energies of all the other chakras in our body, and it's lovely. It's the one that we get to open as we meditate a lot more. It's the one we connect to to see the bigger picture and feel the oneness between us all. If that's not for you, then when we finish, you can just come into Savasana. Now, there's two options for the end of this little routine. Either sit, any comfortable position. Sometimes working those chakras can make you feel a little dizzy, a little flighty, so we need to reground, especially since we've moved up to the spirit realm. We need to reground and connect ourselves back to that root chakra. So sitting can be a valuable one for that. If you're feeling a little dizzy, a little bit woo, take a seat. Close your eyes and just breathe yourself through those energy centers. And really bring your awareness to the weight of your body and the seat of your pose. Your sit bones into the ground. Anchor that root chakra back into the earth. And that will bring you back and ground you again. But if you're happy coming into your Savasana, corpse pose, at the end of it, feet wider than the hips, mat width is a good distance, arms out to your side, palms facing up, and flatten those shoulders out underneath you, chin is slightly tucked, just slightly so the tip of the nose reaches the sky. Just find that comfort and relax here. This is another pose that connects you to your Sahasrara, that lovely crown chakra at the top. And as you lie here, it will connect you through to the rest of them as well, zipping that energy up and into our body. And that is it. Now, when you finish, you can stretch, you can hug the knees, you can roll to the side and press up from there, or you can rock and roll to get more energy in and a pep in your step to start your day. So enjoy. Believe it or not, all of that takes 5 minutes, as I showed you at the start, but I want you to do it safely. I want you to understand the poses properly, so that you can do these and really reap the benefit without hurting yourself. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much. Namaste.